Hello, and welcome to this episode of Dread Captures, the ultimate destination for those who seek the thrill of witnessing the unexplained. Our channel is dedicated to bringing you the most compelling and jaw-dropping camera footage we can find. We're on the search for footage of wild animals, cryptids, and paranormal activity from all over the world. In everyday life, trail cameras, security cameras, and other recording devices can capture all that happens when no one is around. From mysterious creatures lurking in the shadows to strange phenomena that defy explanation, we have it all. Our team of experts scours the internet and beyond to bring you the latest and greatest in the world of wildlife and the unknown. So whether you're a seasoned cryptozoologist, a veteran outdoorsman, or just a curious viewer, buckle up and get ready for an adventure like no other. Now, let's get into the captures. Pretty cool footage here of a heron taking on a water snake. Water snakes primarily eat fish, and it appears that is what has gotten the snake's attention. The heron has commandeered a fish and the snake wants it. While the snake latches on, the heron gives him some good beak hammers to the head. I don't know how many of those that snake is going to be able to take, but again, he's latched on tight. The fight moves deeper into the water, and you can see that both of them are not as comfortable out here. The heron delivers a few more whacks with his beak, then drags the snake under the water. Once he surfaces, you can see some blood in the white feathers of the bird. I'm assuming that's from the heron, but it marks their separation as the heron is able to swim safely to shore. You can tell he's exhausted. The blood, if it is in fact from the heron, is likely just a flesh wound and will heal. I don't think there will be any wing damage. Overall, it's just pretty incredible footage captured. I mean, can you imagine stumbling upon this? Switching to another heron clip, watch how this guy catches this catfish. Dives under and literally stabs him with his beak, pierces him right through his body. He carries his catch through the grass, and what he does next might be more incredible than the catching of the fish. He takes this bad boy, couple of tosses, and throws him right down the gullet. Whole. I mean, that's nuts. These herons are quite the creature. This was actually a viewer submission. It starts off, "Name's Rick. I'm an amateur wildlife photographer. I've been doing this for a decade, but recently something I've never seen before popped up on my trail camera. I was out in the woods, deep in a national park, about 10 miles from my home. I had just set up camp as I was going to be there for a couple of days. I set my trail camera up on the game trail, hoping to maybe catch a fox or a bobcat I had seen in the past. This isn't my first rodeo in these woods. I've been tracking and photographing wildlife here for a good part of this decade. You name it, I've probably caught it on my camera at some point. Bobcats, foxes, deer, even the elusive mountain lion that no one else seems to catch. I know the animals and their behaviors, their patterns. I've got a favorite spot, this clearing that opens up near a game trail. It's usually bustling with activity, the perfect location for someone like me. But this time, something felt off from the get-go. Before the strange encounter, I'd noticed some oddities. For a couple of days, the animals had been acting up. I'd seen deer bolting as if scared out of their minds. Squirrels were chattering more anxiously than usual. Personally, I remember feeling a prickling sensation, like I was being watched. And normally the sounds of the forest are music to my ears. The rustling leaves, distant bird calls, even the scampering of critters. But on this day, everything was unusually quiet. Almost like the forest itself was holding its breath. Even the normal deer trails looked undisturbed. No signs of the usual hoof prints. And that's when I noticed strange markings on the ground, like something heavy had dragged itself along. something I couldn't place, which was unusual for me. The eerie silence combined with these bizarre traces sent chills up my spine. I wasn't alone, and whatever was out there was unfamiliar. Then, one night, something came across my camera's field of view, but it wasn't an animal. It was tall, almost 6 feet tall, and pale. It was bipedal, looked exactly like a human, but moved much, much slower. What stood out the most was its skin color, the brightest white. I didn't understand what I was looking at. Its face was gaunt, almost human-like, but had an eerie, inhuman quality. Its eyes were small and seemed to glow. It made this strange clicking noise, which my camera picked up. As I scanned through the other images, I found more of them with this ominous figure just at the periphery. The most unsettling part, the strange clicking sounds that my camera picked, a series of irregular clicks, not like any animal I know, it almost seemed like a language. And the thought of that set my hair on end. I was terrified, sure, but I was also fascinated. I'd never seen anything like this. I didn't even know what to call it. A skinwalker, maybe? I finally went to bed that night, but the very next night, it's there in full view again. It was twisted and wrong in a way I can't quite put into words. It felt like looking into the eyes of something that wasn't supposed to exist, something out of place and time. I couldn't shake the feeling of dread. The image was so clear. This was no bear or wolf. This was something else. I suppose I should have left, but after that sighting, I tried to find it again with no luck. Yet I can't shake off this feeling of being watched whenever I'm out in the woods now. It's like the encounter has left a lasting imprint. The crunching leaves, the rustling bushes, each sound plays tricks on my mind. I've found myself startled by the smallest noises, jumping at shadows. It's like I'm always expecting to see it again. And the nights, they're the hardest. Sometimes I swear I can hear those same clicking noises from the footage echoing from the woods. If I'm being really honest, I found it difficult to shake this off, this lingering sense of unease. Unfortunately, it's become a part of my everyday life, an odd aftermath of an event I never thought possible. My world's definitely been altered. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's curiosity, but I know one thing for sure. I'm hooked on finding out more. Another seemingly normal day, a man out with his family, when out of nowhere he sees this weird ape-like thing just casually sauntering down the street. It's a fleeting moment, but enough to send a chill down the guy's spine. He knows something's off and his family could be at risk. Without missing a beat, he tells them to get inside. But this dude, he's not running. Nope, he decides to follow this strange creature into the wilderness. You can see this creature's trying to lose him, darting through the underbrush, letting out these strange sounds. It's like it's heeding a warning like, alright buddy, back off. But this guy isn't listening. He keeps chasing it until, out of the blue, the creature stops. Then it starts pacing, its calls getting louder, more intense. It's like this creature's stuck in a stalemate, deciding whether to charge or bolt. As this is going down, the man finally gets a good look at this thing. It's not as small as it seemed from far away. He's looking at this towering 7-foot figure, covered head to toe in fur. It's got this ape-like vibe, but the way it moves, it's eerily human. And then it hits him, like one of those light bulb moments you see in cartoons. He's not just chasing any old creature. He's on the heels of a Bigfoot. That realization alone makes him hit the brakes. And thankfully, the creature isn't in a fighting mood. It leaves him be, and our man's left standing there, probably the luckiest guy around. This is just a hysterical video. Okay, this little groundhog, who has affectionately been named Chunk, is just crushing the vegetables out of this man's garden for over 4 years. The Delaware man has tons and tons of videos of Chunk just doing the same thing. Picks up a vegetable, takes it in front of the camera, and eats it. The best part when he's eating them is that he just stands defiantly in front of the camera. I don't know, I just found this so funny. A few commenters were saying he was doing it on purpose, and I'm pretty sure most animals' brains don't work like that. But if you know differently, let me know. Anyhow, this is just too good. Upon first glance, this photo seems pretty ordinary. However, look on down to the bottom left corner, where an unknown creature is visible. Opinions on its identity vary. Some suggest it's just a common dog, while others propose a much more unusual creature. When I look at it, I see an ape. I just can't make out a dog. Even though that, of course, would be the most likely explanation. I can't even decide which way the mystery creature is standing either. Is his head facing us tilted downwards, or is he looking away? The creature being out in the broad daylight is something to take note of as well. To me, that suggests the creature is comfortable in its surroundings. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Both trail and cell phone cameras have been capturing images of a mystery creature that bears resemblance to a large black cat. It has been informally named the Black Panther of Texas, and numerous clear images of this animal have been posted online. Some even showcasing additional unidentified creatures in the background. Most people believe that these sightings might simply be cases of mistaken identity, while others find certain images, such as those clearly depicting a black cat bearing panther-like features, more convincing. However, numerous experts propose that the creature could be a jaguarundi, a species indigenous to northern Mexico and Central and South America. They suggest that a rogue breeding population of jaguarundis could have migrated northwards into the United States, potentially accounting for the numerous sightings happening in Texas. Nevertheless, the question remains, is it a jaguarundi, a black panther, another cryptid, or something else entirely? Despite many attempts at explanations, the mystery persists. Let me know what you guys think of this. I think I'm leaning towards the experts' opinions of the jaguarundis. Now, let's take a journey down to the Sunshine State, Florida, focusing on the Panhandle where Panama City Beach lays its sand. As you can see here, we have a black bear. Yes, you heard it correctly, a black bear sharing the surf with the humans. I'm sure you've all by now seen this footage, because this scene, so unique, so bizarre, caught on camera, was broadcasted nationwide. I mean, it's not every day you pack up your beach towel, your sunscreen, you head to the beach, and you end up sharing the water with a little black bear. Bystanders said the bear wasn't threatening at all. It was literally like he was just enjoying a dip in the water, having his own beach day. I don't know, these people seem pretty close to this bear, even if it is a smaller bear, I don't know. Like we've said before, I guess I don't have to be the fastest, I just have to be faster than the slowest. But what worries me more is, where's Mama Bear? It's not often she lets her cubs out of her sight. And how did this bear manage to get here, into the Gulf of Mexico, undetected, unnoticed? But then again, when you think about it, there are populations of black bears in Florida. They roam large parts of the state. So maybe it's not so shocking after all. Nevertheless, it's a sight, a memory for those who saw it, and a story to tell. Alright, let's talk about this crazy, super interesting clip. You've got a family just out there enjoying the woods. Maybe they're on a camping trip, the typical stuff. You see the dad, he's probably showing his boys how to fish. Just an average, wholesome family day. But then things take a turn. Dad looks off camera with a puzzled face, eyes locked on something in the bushes. Mom's probably working the camera and she catches Dad's look and her instincts kick in. She swings the camera around to follow his gaze. And there it is. Something, or maybe someone, is lurking out there in those bushes. At first you can't make out anything. Shaky camera, bad quality and all. But once you slow it down and stabilize it, you can see why Dad's so freaked out. There's definitely something out there. It's not a dog, a wolf, a bear. This thing, it's walking like a human. And it's all dark, like it's covered in fur or something. And if you look closer, it's kind of hunched over. And like many people are saying, it's kind of like a Bigfoot. What do we think? Did this family just have a run-in with Bigfoot? And if so, why was it there, watching them? A few months ago, there was an unparalleled sense of excitement when a trail camera in Maine captured an image of a wild creature. This sensation truly provokes the curiosity of observers, and they started firing away with their guesses. A photo taken recently by the renowned camera trapper Ali Ladd from Byron was presented to the public. Ladd is known for his captivating videos and stills from his preferred spots in western Maine. This particular image managed to stand out as peculiar, even slightly unsettling due to the creature's proximity to the camera and unusual angle of the shot. As people hit social media with their guesses, the speculation was varied. The guesses ranged from bear, moose, porcupine, to even a tree. Inevitably, the cryptid fan base threw out creatures like Bigfoot or the chupacabra. Now, interestingly, around a third of the viewers actually pinpointed the image. They actually got it right. This is actually the rear end of a north-facing moose. When asked about his subject, Ladd shared, quote, "tail on a cow moose." He explained he noticed what looked like eyes, then after zooming in noticed the nose, mouth, a tooth, and a beard. It's actually a moose rubbing the area to get rid of the ticks or rubbing the old winter fur off. A side note, he estimated that the moose weighed around 600 to 700 pounds. A Lori Turner, who instantly recognized the animal, swiftly posted a similar photo on a social media platform, showcasing the same view of a moose, albeit from a slightly farther distance. The most creative response regarding the identity of the mysterious creature was provided by a lady from Philadelphia, who cleverly coined it as a mangy moose caboose. Straight out of the Washington Peninsula, as recent as 2021 or 2022, what we're seeing in this footage is an ape-like figure making its way through the woods. And I don't need to tell you guys that it's walking a lot like a human. Now, I know we've covered a lot of Bigfoot videos today, but before you dismiss it, the person who caught this footage on camera adds more to the story. They've spotted this creature more than once. And get this, they claim they've heard it talk. They couldn't quite make out any words, but they're sure they heard something. Determined to get more evidence, they go back to the same spot and stumble upon these huge footprints. And I mean, they're gigantic, just like you'd expect from Bigfoot. They're not just large, they're deep too, hinting at a heavy creature. The search didn't stop there. When the snow fell, they headed back and found more footprints. These were discovered 10 miles from the Canadian border, showing just how committed this individual was to tracking down Bigfoot. All these findings might suggest that Bigfoot isn't just sticking to one place, it's on the move. Unless, of course, there's more than one of these creatures lurking around the Washington area. So, solid evidence or not so much? As for me, first of all, I definitely think there are more than one in the Washington area. And I'm willing to dig deep into the footage. This is good footage here. This is just meant to be another trail cam snapshot, catching foxes or some other little prowlers. But man, it turned out to be something else. Just look closely at the footage. Aside from the fox we got right up front, you see those two pairs of eyes popping in and out? They're just there, and then they're gone. Just there, gone. All creepy. Did you guys see what I'm talking about? Maybe it's just another hunter eyeing a fox or, I don't know, some kind of night beast ducking out of the camera's sight. What's your take on this? Let me know.